Here we go for the final day of warm-up. And heavy, speed was always there. It was trying to find a partner. But we did still played around with a couple adjustments. We were going to... It's always been like this. You know how it is. Throughout the week, the track, even though everybody's on track, it doesn't really rubber up. And I thought to myself, you know, it just was an off year because we don't usually run this soft of an axle, especially at this time of year. The sun's out, track warms up, the rubber gets down, and it was just odd. This year it wasn't just as much rubber as we usually have, so we fought with some grip issues, and we fought to get the balance of the cart right. But towards the end, we did have enough speed. I'm not sure enough we had enough speed to win. Maybe with some help we did, but we definitely were rolling. That was for sure. It was just trying to find the right drafting partner to get up to the front and then stay up front. Because Charlotte's a track that you need friends. You're not going to go out and pull off a win by yourself unless you have a big block hidden under your dang 206. So definitely getting out there, running with some of the quick guys, and we just had the cart dialed in. So for practice, it looked really good, and that just made me worry because we had a whole bunch of sessions in front of us. Track was going to change, so you always got to be thinking ahead. You got to be thinking about what's the next move, what am I going to do next, can I get in front of the track and what the track's going to do, and it's a guessing game. That's all it is, a big guessing game, and then you're just going to take a big guess, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. In the end, the cart was there speed-wise. It was the luck part that we usually don't get down. So throughout the weekend, cleaning up his driving a lot. He was struggling in that back section. You had to give up the right-hander on that back section to stay on the right side to get a good run for a left-hander, and because that left-hander makes it run down to his turn. There's really like 2 turns, in my opinion, that nail this whole track. So you get those right, then you pretty much hit the nail on the head. When the cart's running really, really good, you're gonna hit the limiter twice, and you almost 3 times. And the third time I say is going to turn 1. You may tap the limiter, you may brush the limiter, but that's how you know your cart's just really working. Usually ride limiters, but in this track, you want to hit it a couple times, like right before the crest on the turn, and then right going to that last hill. Speed-wise, we were passing people, P17, but the whole field's so damn tight. Well, final day, the money day, the day that counts, the finals. Where are we starting? P6 and heavy for Bryce. Medium, P27, gas bag. Kelvin, P18 for light, P17 for medium. Yeah, that's bad too. Other than that, Josie made it out of the LCQ. We're gonna give it everything we got. We're trying some different things out on the medium cart. When we did a gear change on the heavy cart, and I found out we weren't getting full throttle. So now we'll see what we got. Hopefully we got something, and hope he doesn't wreck it during practice. Shit's crazy. Nah, it sucks not being out there, but it's alright, you know, shit happens. I'm only crying inside. So, both warm-ups in the book. I played around with the heavy cart, the medium cart. So I basically decided to add grip to the medium cart, but for some reason, I'm probably gonna have to take out, because I took caster out yesterday, a lot of it. The reasoning behind that was I was trying to slow down the front end because the front end was overpowering the rear and we didn't have enough rear grip. So we went with softer axle, took caster out, which slowed the whole cart down, and it worked, right? The cart's been fast. Heavy has been fast. We're fast and heavy. It's the medium car I continue to work on a little bit, tweaking and tuning. We're gonna drop a half a tooth on the medium cart, and then I'm debating on going from a 2-dot pill to a 0 on the bottom, or just spinning the bottom pill, which is gonna do, I mean, it's basically doing almost the same thing, except I'm just gonna add a hair of caster back into the cart. The reason is the sun is not out, and the weather's cool, and both carts are on a Q axle now. It worked in medium, I put it on the heavy, it worked even more on the heavy. I know I hate adding caster because it's a long run, but I usually run the cars with a 3-dot pill on top, 0 on the bottom. So I'm running them with less caster than I usually run them, because now I have a 3-dot and a 2-dot. So what I'm going to do now is basically just put it back to where I usually run the cart, just with a softer axle. I think that's what I'm going to do with the medium cart. The medium cart just looks a little lazy down the double lefts. It's flat sliding. So I'm not sure if my driver's doing that, or because last night he was inducing it. He was inducing the flat slide. So I know it's a lot of explanation, but I'm trying to explain my thought process behind it. Usually you add caster and narrow the cart up to add grip. What I did is I just added rear grip and slowed down the front end by taking away front end bite. So the cart got grip overall in my own little way. When you add caster, the cart becomes very darty and pointy and lifts. But here, these long radius corners, it lifts and then it'll slam it back down, lifts, slam it back down. So I decided to go the other way and it worked. So I'm almost going to go back to the setup I started the weekend, just softer axle in the rear for medium. Heavy, I'm not sure if I'm going to touch that damn car at all. That cart's set up with 3-dot top, 2-dot bottom, caster out, 49.5 inches in the rear Q axle. Cart just works, man. Paul's been fucking me. Been running around in a 24 chassis. Nah, I love my 24. It was fast. The 25 is it's just fast. On 50, it's fast. We're struggling with the 40 mil. I don't know what to say. The 40 mil, the cart just has a lot more rear bite to it. So the rear is driving the front in the 40. And Bryce's mom is just driving around the parking lot for no reason. But I'm not going to say anything. Starting P6 in the heavy finals, we are starting in position 2 win, and we have been running well with Ronnie Clydes all weekend. So the goal is to stay with him and work with him. I don't know what happened. I'm not the driver out there. I just know sometimes people forget and they lose their heads. But we have teammates up front. We got Owen up front, Colin Akins up front. Then we have Mo right next to us. So we have teammates all around us. It's just we didn't fire off as good as I thought. And then after that, if you don't fire off well and then hold your ground, and like I said, find a good drafting partner, I mean, you're just dead in the water. It's like having a boat anchor out there. But he drove a really good race. It's just we got hung out to dry. We all started battling way too soon. The leaders were smart. They stayed nose to tail, and that was it. Like, once you get nose to tail and you're smart, you're not going to get beat unless you get a train of 4 or 5 carts that are not dumb, and they're going to stick together, and they're going to, ride it out with you. But usually in these big events, you have a good team core, good teammates, and people that, don't get impatient early on. Because, to be honest, I just think everyone got a little bit impatient early on. Like, Chauncey's a really experienced driver, makes a move on Ronnie. It was a really, really early, and then we go ahead and make a same move. Now, I just don't know why, in my mind, Bryce wouldn't just push him. I mean, we worked well all day with him. So I would have, in my opinion, I would have used him and ran back up front with him. But for some reason, it's just a learning experience when you get up to big national levels. Sometimes you feel a lot faster than the person in front of you. It's because you're in their toe. You're in their draft. Of course you're going to feel a lot faster. They may be towing you along. So, I mean, I would have just sat back there and pushed them as much as I could and kept that group tight and then fought for another day. Especially, I think it was lap 2. That's how quickly the fight started going on the front. And after that, we couldn't find a teammate to save our life. So, I mean, it was very frustrating to see on the sidelines, especially knowing that these little mistakes can cost you so much in the long run. And when I say that, it's because you go out there, you know, you're running and gunning. You do well weekends. We're starting P6. We have amazing speed. And then out of nowhere, 2 or 3 little mistakes, I mean, cost us all the work we have done. And they were just minor mental errors. It had nothing to do with the go-kart. It just had to do with just minor mental errors. And this is, like I said, this is a learning experience for anybody looking to race up front in the big times. Here, we're doing well. We make a couple slight mistakes. We get into a battle with the 56, and then this is when we need to start working, trying to find a partner to race with. But the problem was here, at this point of the race, you can tell speed difference changes. Like, you know, halfway through the race, you find, okay, I may actually be a little bit quicker here and there in some sections. So you might want to break up. But right here, these 3 maybe catching a group in front, and I mean, that was, he sends up on the inside. He gets a penalty, has to let him back by, but that's another slight mental error earlier on. Basically, he ends up losing 2 positions. Instead of saying nose to tail earlier and not passing anybody, that was another slight mental error. So this is not anything about bashing Bryce. Bryce is an amazing driver, and you know he is a regional champion. So just running at the national level, that much higher, you're racing against not just other, you know, local club guys that's won their club championships and stuff like that, but you know you're running against other regional winners and national winners, and you know people that have won over and over and over again. So everybody's really good. Just because you won a club race or 2 thinks you're awesome. No, you're racing against the best of the best. The whole field's 2/10. I mean, that's just how it is. So here we actually end up running back down the 56. Like I said, we had speed, just, you know, not enough speed. Some slight mental errors cost us here and there. But overall, you can't be upset with a top 20. You cannot be upset, especially a field this big, a group this talented, a field this tight. It's insane. And then he was making passes in areas where nobody else was making passes. I thought he made a pass too soon. I was like, great, we're going to get towed down and turned back in. But no, that was just a great pass. I mean, then we were able to pull a slight gap and then maintain. We didn't have to defend or anything. We just brought it home. It was just a little frustrating at times. But overall, really good weekend. Super proud of the guys. Everybody ran great. Like I said, top 20 is a win. Top 10 is amazing. So we brought it home P9. We had more in the tank, but that's all we had today. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, what can we say? We gave it everything we had. It was a good run for Old Blue right here. MGM was quick. Bryce laid down like consistent fast laps. Just couldn't find anybody to work with. What can you say? You need friends.
Yeah, you need
You need a drafting partner.
You need an Aiken to your own.
Yeah. You need an Aiken to your Owen. We need team orders. That's it. Ain't a big deal. Congratulations to them. They did an amazing race. We just didn't have anybody to work with, so no sucks. Everybody thinks they can win the race in the first lap. Doesn't make any sense. Like, finals come in and everybody goes stupid. I had a blast. We still got Kelvin and medium and light. We still got Bryce, one more to go in medium. Josie's out there right now. He made it out of the LCQ. He's gonna run light, so we got some more racing to do. But basically, the one class we had a really good chance of winning. We had the kart, we had the speed. We just didn't have any friends. Shit happens.